Hey everybody, Zion over here from Nintendo Life, and today we're finally able to share with you our review of Pokémon Legends Arceus on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this review was originally written by Jordan Midler for NintendoLife.com, but was reworked into this video by me. A century before it became the land of Sinnoh, the Hisui region was a dangerous place where humans and Pokémon didn't share the close bond they have today. In fact, Pokémon were treated like dangerous creatures to be avoided, and in Pokémon Legends Arceus, it's up to you and the Galaxy Expedition team to document and, of course, catch them all for the first ever Pokédex. Pokémon Legends Arceus offers the first real open-world experience in the series. Technically a spin-off from the mainline games, Legends Arceus takes place in a ye-old version of the Gen 4 region which we first visited in Pokémon Diamond and Pearl on Nintendo DS, and more recently in the Sinnoh remakes Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on Nintendo Switch. The land of Hisui is split up into regions, each of which is filled with Pokémon native to that habitat. In order to document them for your Pokédex, you'll have to catch them, but instead of your sole option being simply battling them and weakening them, and then picking a Pokéball from a menu, you have the chance to aim and throw a Pokéball yourself before a battle even begins. This right here is the best part of the game by far. The catching mechanics actually feel skill-based rather than luck-based, although luck still does play some factor. Certain Pokemon will require stealth when pursuing them. If they catch you looking at them the wrong way, they'll either battle you or run away completely. There's nothing more heartbreaking than slowly creeping up to a rare Pokemon, only for it to spot you and sprint away as you launch Pokeballs over, under, and to the side of it. As a result, actually catching rare Pokemon feels like a great achievement, and the team you build feels much more realized as you may be more inclined to remember exactly how you caught them. This also makes the experience of going into a new area and noticing all the different species you've yet to encounter feel so much more exciting than the equivalent in the mainline games. Now, the story in Legends Arceus delves into Pokemon lore in a compelling way that's usually been reserved for books found in small corners around the Pokemon world. There is unfortunately no voice acting, which feels like it would be the next logical step in the series, but the text dialogue is all well written, and the new shades added to the lore of legendary Pokemon you've met before are welcome additions as well. The overall roster of Pokemon is strong here too, with no generation getting too much attention, except for Generation 4 for obvious reasons. It feels balanced, but also as if all of these Pokemon could naturally live in these habitats. Some of the omissions from the Hisuian Pokédex are genuinely quite shocking, but we found that every type had an abundance of representation, and that there are plenty of ultra-rare creatures to go after once the credits have rolled. Pokémon Legends Arceus feels like the truest realization of the Pokémon fantasy. A wonderful surprise considering this is technically a spin-off title. It's a game about actually going out to catch them all and document the world, not just to go out and earn thousands of dollars as a 10-year-old, destroying every professional Pokémon trainer in the world in quick succession. And speaking of earning badges, there are actually no gyms in Pokémon Legends Arceus. Instead, early on, you'll find your progress gated by the likes of Noble Pokémon, Cleaver. This essentially serves as a boss fight for the region, and an introduction to the aforementioned never-before-seen Pokémon. Mechanically, the fight is somewhat clunky, especially when it becomes a bit of a third-person shooter for a few minutes, but Cleaver certainly looks great on screen. Jubilife Village serves as your home base and is also where you can change outfits, your hairstyle, or visit several shops. You need to go back here a bit too much for our liking, especially in the endgame, but it's handy having everything in one place and not randomly spread across the world. There are several rideable Pokemon that help you travel the world of Hisui as well. Wurdeer, a new evolution of Generation 2's Stantler, will essentially serve as your bike, allowing you to speed across terrain. Basculegion, a supersized Basculin evolution, enables you to fly and more, which we won't spoil here, making traversing Hisui a very easy, pleasurable experience. However, there is a part of us that almost preferred the early game, when none of the rideable Pokemon are accessible, and we had to make sure we were outfitted with the right items and were properly prepared for the on-foot journey across the opening area. It felt like those episodes of the Pokemon anime where Ash and crew would just walk for hours on expeditions between towns. Having the rideable Pokemon is a great option, especially in later areas that are much larger than the initial zones, but we'd recommend taking it slowly through your first journey in Hisui. There's a lot to discover here, and you'll want to savor the exploration as much as you can. Now, the battle system in Legends receives a refresh in the form of Agile style and Strong style moves. These options are unlocked once a move is mastered by a Pokemon. In battle, this manifests as giving the player the option for the move to hit harder at the expense of skipping a turn, or it may give the player the opportunity to attack twice before their opponent. This is a refreshing change and gives you an extra layer of strategy to think about. Battles generally are much harder than the ultra-easy recent Pokemon games, with several late-game encounters reminding us of the Ultra Necrozma fight from Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. This means building a team that covers all your bases is essential and encourages players to go after alpha Pokemon in the early game at least, which are supersized and much stronger variations of Pokemon. It's thrilling stuff if you're a Pokemon veteran. These alpha Pokemon are fairly common, and they'll often be 20 to 30 levels higher than your best Pokemon in the early stages. Blacking out is a genuine threat too, as you can lose extremely rare items when this happens. In a nice touch as well, you can either select to run away from battles or actually just run away. EXP is shared across your party, and you'll also receive XP for catching Pokemon without battling. The game does a good job of scaling against this. By the time we reached the final battle, our levels were fairly similar to the last boss, although players who triple down on catching them will likely be higher. And while players can trade Pokemon, there are unfortunately no multiplayer battles in Pokemon Legends Arceus. We wonder if this is due to having to balance all of the moves in the game against the new agile, strong styles, but it will feel like a bit of a miss for hardcore players of the mainline series. Incidentally, shiny Pokemon are in the game and appear in the overworld. We even managed to nab a few ourselves already. The only real downside to Pokemon Legends Arceus are the technical stumbles that are hard to ignore. The frame rate is prone to stuttering when a character is too far away from you, and there's a blurry fuzz around character models. Despite having a certain style, the series has never been a technical wonder, at least beyond the phenomenal compression wizardry that squeezed Kanto into Pokemon Gold and Silver. We can't forget that. This time around, textures, trees, and other elements all look very dated by modern standards. On the other hand, the Pokemon models themselves look great. There are new animations for not only some of the Pokemon, but for a lot of classic moves too. The semi-accurate sizing of Pokemon and the new camera angles for battles also make you feel a lot more like you're actually in the world, rather than warping to and from segmented battle arenas every time you have an encounter as well. Now, we'd be remiss to not mention the common joke that was going around when the game was first shown off, that Legends Arceus was going to be the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon games, mostly due to the fact that the trailers open on a shot of an impressive mountain, punctuated with piano keys that sound like the prelude to an open explorative adventure, the Zelda kind. And the reality is, well, Pokemon Legends Arceus is in fact the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon games, but not because of any of that. It's because the developers have managed to take characters and mechanics that are exceptionally familiar to millions of players and rehouse them in a game that's so much more than what has come before. It's the most important release in the series since 1996, and fills us with hope for a franchise that we were worried was somehow drifting away from us. Sure, the game has technical problems here and there, but it's telling how insignificant they feel when you finally catch that rare Pokemon you've been hunting for an hour. Pokemon Legends Arceus feels like the result of Game Freak learning lessons for 25 years, refining the formula, and finally taking the franchise in a new, incredibly exciting direction. With its emphasis on extremely rewarding exploration, addictive catching mechanics, a fine roster of Pokémon, and a generous sense of scale that's unlike anything in the series, Pokémon Legends Arceus is quite simply one of the greatest Pokémon games ever made. We here at Nintendo Life give Pokémon Legends Arceus on the Nintendo Switch a 9 out of 10. If you'd like to reference our full written review, you can find that along with more news and information and tips on Pokémon Legends Arceus over at nintendolife.com. Be sure to let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on Pokémon Legends Arceus so far, and let us know which starter Pokémon you're going to choose if you pick up the game as well. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you go ahead and sneak up on that subscribe button and toss a Pokeball at it in third person, and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we put up a new video. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.